Hello peoplings and welcome to Live Coding with Gerph. Today we're doing something a little bit different. As I've mentioned in the chat, we are looking at doing a release. This release of the RISC OS Build Environment, and hopefully that'll be a relatively easy and smooth process. We'll see. No idea how well it's actually going to go, but we'll give it a whirl. Hello there, Andrew. Hello there, Martin. Martin, can't tell. Can't read names. Everything's too small on here. Or my eyes are bad. Probably both. Right, so let's go into what the RISC OS Build Environment really is. So it is, yes, hi Martin. Yes, I was right, good. So RISC OS Build Environment is a RISC OS built environment for Windows, Linux, and macOS, all using Docker. It lets you develop for RISC OS using non-RISC OS systems, and it comprises a pretty complete, not completely complete, but pretty good tool chain that covers most of the things you want to be doing on RISC OS. Obviously there's still a huge amount missing because it's an operating system. It can't do everything, and RISC OS is a little bit special, but it's certainly very sorry, I got distracted by my wife there. Easily distracted. And it will basically make your life easier if you are developing for RISC OS, but you're not using RISC OS itself. It also means you can automate things to do CI operations, and together with the RISC OS build service that can run things, it means that you can actually test stuff out. And it has been extended and improved in many different versions. It's on Docker Hub, so here is the actual Gerph/build. I will copy that location so you can see it. And we'll be updating this description as well, because there's a lot more we can say. Well, probably more we can say, but certainly we'll be referring to things a bit more in here. So this is the tool, and if we go to tags here, you can see that we've got various tags. We've got latest version in 64-bit, and there's 64-bit and there's regular variants. It means that you can build for 64-bit or not. Yes, we had a lovely break. Well, I'm saying that. I mean, tell you might felt differently. But yeah, we had a lovely time. Yes, we were away on honeymoon a couple of weeks back, and then it was stupidly hot. So I decided not to do anything on the live coding. Yeah, so we got the latest version, which is just a copy of the most recent version. And they're numbered as you might expect in usual major, minor patch versions, and the patch version is actually just the release number. So we've had lots of different releases, and I don't think we actually go back to 0.1s. The 0.1s were very, very ropey. It was when I was trying to just put it together, but there's been a lot of changes, and in fact there's been sufficient numbers of changes that we actually now have a list of the changes that happened in each version, so you can actually have a look at it and go, that's what happened there. We got lots more things. We recognize more things. There's more features in there and things like that. There's lots of information in the changes, and that's coming in. It came in the previous version, and we'll be improving it again this time. Yeah, so that's it. Installation instructions are present in here. No, here, sorry. I went back too far. In the overview section, it says how to install it, but we've also got some new documentation as well. Yes. So I'm going to go and talk through the process as I remember it, because I don't think I've written down actually how I do this. I'm pretty sure I don't have a note here that says releasing, make release. Oh. Create a changelog for this release. Please create a changelog and pipe it into Gemini. Well, Gemini is not actually. Let's pipe it into Claude instead, shall we? Because Gemini stopped being a thing now. So a good start. We've already found a bug in our release process, which also means I've probably got to go and put together. Is there a note in here about releasing? No. Okay, so let's create a release note, shall we? Release. Ooh, releases. No, that isn't. Okay, releases.md. Right. How to release RISC OS Build Environment. And so the reason I'm doing this rather than actual traditional programming for coding is that Taylor suggested that my people that have watched this have watched some really dull stuff. That's not quite fair, but there has been some things that have been particularly special for RISC OS. So people watch these things. Plus, I think it's important to understand what I go through, and people can tell me, oh, why aren't you doing X, Y, and Z? Or they can tell me, oh, you're doing way more than you'd expect there. That's also fair. But it's basically me trying to show off what I do so that people can see this is the sort of process we go through. And people that do professional releases, you don't have to quote me exactly. When it's fair, I'll quote it, because then it also becomes a statement from me as well. I believe that. Yes, there were some very dull things. So one of the things I've been trying to do whilst I've been doing these presentations is try and find things that are actually interesting. And there have been some where I've been sitting there coding away and going, are people going to be interested in this? Do they really care? And maybe they don't, but that's the thing. There are things I have to do to get somewhere. So there may be some dull things, like in a job. There's things that you like and there's things you don't. And sometimes you just have to suck it up and do the things you don't like. So what do we do to release the build environment? So first thing, I think, well, no, let's start from what I've already done, because there's a lot of things that I've already done to prepare this. So firstly, check the documents, check the tools are working. And that includes checking that the automated builds work, which is important. Checking that the basic functionality of RISC OS project works and we can build. Check that, check that the build service works. Check that a 64-bit build works as well. Now these were actually done as part of the automated test, but it's always good to check them. Right, probably first thing actually is check that the Docker image builds, which is a good thing to start with. Automated builds work, basic functionality. Right, check that the documentation builds, and that also involves checking that the documentation reads well and doesn't contain garbage. Fortunately, I have some skills with the AI systems, the agents, to do this, and I have already gone through the documentation and checked everything is consistent. It found a lot of the things that I'd written were like, oh, that doesn't work. I will report that as a bug, and then it can go, I can just change documentation. If it's something that was stupid in the documentation, and it's something that's non-functional, it can go and report it to me, and then I have to go and chase things. If anybody was online with me in the RISC OS developer chat server on Slack, on Discord last night, you'll have heard me swearing a lot that the Pascal builds weren't working because I thought it was working and it was not. That was fun. So check documentation builds work. Check that. I think that's the main checks that I do. Yeah, I think that's the main checks we do. Then we need to, so this is pre-release. then we do, what should we do next? Build an updated, oh sorry, this is actually the releasing. Build an, hello there, Rob Andrews, hello, updated changelog. Run the make release script, and we should get a release changelog out. What else do I do for that? That's a changelog. Check the log was the log is okay. Oh, probably actually back here. Check documentation reads well and doesn't contain garbage. Okay, we'll do that. Commit changes. What else do we do? I think that's main bits. Tag the version, build the images. Then I need to tag the Docker images. I need to work out how I do that because I did that manually last time. I can't remember how I did that. And then I publish to Docker Hub. Again, say how to do that. Publish Docker Hub. What else? Bum, bum, bum. Oh, and then we've got to announce it. On the rule forums. Announcements. Okay. I think that's the basic process. I don't think there's anything else. We will almost certainly have missed something, so let's just rename that to release rather than releases. There we go. Commit, add release.md. I'll just do a status on that. Didn't I just change the make release? Ooh, make release hasn't actually been committed. Interesting. Oh, and then it adds the changes and commits it. Oh, in fact, it does all the work for us. It does that, and then that, and then... I really want to stop there, don't I? Please create the new release changes file in there. And I think because I've got a skill for that, I don't need anything else. I think that'll work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set mine as E as well so that it will fail on an error. Right, let's have a see. Git commit -a create release information documentation and tools. We're going to have to update this anyway. Some new tools to do the release and notes on how to. Right. So if we have a look at that file, what did we need to do? We need to check the Docker image builds. Let's do that now. So there's a magic command to do this, which is this. Oh, except it's not quite this. No, because I don't want to skip the test. I want to run the test this time. What we'll do is we'll put that into the release documentation. There we are. We've now got it documented. Okay. Oh, just paste it. Right. Let's see how this goes. So this is my usual process. It knows it's dirty. This is not a good release because I've changed some of the files in here. So it won't. I shouldn't publish this one because it's marked as dirty. This will take a moment or two because it obviously has to pull in a lot of resources. In fact, I'll make this full screen so you can see a little bit more of it. So we're pulling in bits of library G context. Break in an hour, please. Building the documentation. Here we go. Come on, documentation build. Thank you. Lots of warnings about things. I think that property needs to go, actually. Or maybe it's only supported by Wheezy Print. I don't know. I'll have a look in a second. So, yeah, now it's building the Docker images, pulling everything together, indexing the system. Bum, bum, bum. And every time I need to do a full test of this, I have to go through this build process. And unfortunately, because of how it's built, not everything can get cached, which is a little bit frustrating. It's not the end of the world, but it's still a little bit frustrating. So now we're doing the tests. So it's running the tests on this, checking that things work. And this basically goes and runs things on the newly built environment. And then for things that it needs to, so it's checking that it can start the shell, it's checking that it can get some help out, sending stuff to the builds. Sorry, that's just building things locally. Vmage works, Amu works, can dump some files and can disassemble them. Now it's sending things to the build service to see whether that's actually working. It's one of my notes of things that we need to check. So it's doing that, yeah, passed. Now it's doing building of a Pascal project, because we have Pascal now. No, bits of Pascal. It's Pascal to see, but it works. At least well enough to run some simple things. PRM and XML documentation, RISC OS PRM, which looks things up. Can we zip things? Can we unzip things? Can we get help? Can we tokenize stuff? Oh, it's very exciting, this, you can tell. All of these tests, as I say, get run regularly anyway. And so we shouldn't have any problems on them. So that's now finished building. That was the non-64-bit build. Now it's building the 64-bit version that has the 64-bit build tools in it. These are different containers because if you're only building for 32-bit, you don't need the 64-bit side of things, and therefore you can pull down a much smaller image, which is useful. It gives you a lot more flexibility if you want to use your space for a lot more, because we're looking at, I don't know, 1.6, 1.8 gigabytes for them. Oh yes, Rob's down in Australia, New Zealand, definitely far side of the world, and so yes, it's a little bit late for him, but at least it's actually, as he says, a sensible time. Right, so that's now built the 64-bit version, and as you can see, it's got additional set of tools on here, which is nice, and it's running the same set of tests plus a few more because it's a 64-bit build. So we can at least see that this is working, which is good. As I say, I've done a bunch of this testing beforehand just to check that things are actually working, which is important, as I say. But obviously there's a lot more that you want to be able to test more than just doing the automated tests. And I've done a lot of builds and tests with things. So this is largely just a box ticking exercise, if you like, but it's also showing off the fact that we've got all of this stuff in here to be able to be sure that things are actually working. So the problem like yesterday that I had was this, the Pascal builds, this was wrong, and I'd got the case incorrect. It was using lowercase, sorry, no, the 64-bit version of it didn't exist, and the 32-bit version had a lowercase version of those file names, so it didn't work at all. So I had to go and rebuild a large amount of code beyond there. So it was the environment make files were broken. The environment make files were broken. the Pascal to C code was broken. The Pascal to C code couldn't be built because I didn't have the right tooling. So I had to build new tools to make Pascal to C build. And then I could go and unwind all of that and then go through the tests again. So it took me most of the day yesterday to get to the point where Pascal was building. And you might argue that that's somewhat unhelpful, useless, pointless. All of those things are possibly true. We have a build. It has worked. So first thing to do, start the shell and make sure we can enter the shell. Can we enter the shell? We can. Good. That is nice. Oh, actually, status. What have we got in here? Come on. Yeah, so we've only updated the release file. That's good. Fine. Okay, so RISC OS help. Does RISC OS help work? It does, and it lists all of the different topics. So RISC OS help has also been expanded so that you can do. I don't know if you've probably seen that RISC OS PRM can be used. So you can use RISC OS PRM OS claim like this. But if you happen to forget the command line and you do it with RISC OS help, you can also do RISC OS help and it does the same thing. So there's a little bit of extra help on that. It also does magic, like RISC OS help can give you modules. So if I do that, it didn't go into the manuals. I don't know why it didn't do that. I'm not going to worry. It's meant to kick off the interface chapter builds there and do that. I'm not sure why it didn't. Not going to worry. We have got the latest version here though, haven't we? All auto stash. I don't want to find that I'm releasing the wrong thing. No, everything's up to date. That's good. What we'll do is we'll check on the actual help here. So we'll do help, RISC OS help, tools, and we'll see whether that says things. Yep. So this has got all the tools listed. Looks good, and some actual usage commands show you how to use them. Good. And what was the other one of the other ones? RISC OS help. How to use strong help. Yeah, that looks like it's giving me some help on it. Good. So that's working. Let us do some quick builds. So test builds. No, I can't spell. Test builds. Test builds. Okay, so C. RISC OS project. Create. Type command name foo. Okay. Oh, and give me a skeleton of it as well, so we can actually build it. Skeleton. Ammo. Right, that built. And can we build it 64-bit as well? Build 64 equals 1. Yeah, that's building 64-bit as well. So that hopefully is just taking its time. Thank you. Okay, let's check that we can actually run those. Build run. I want to send the file af32.foo/foo, and I want to do command foo. That sends it to the build service. Yep, that runs. And try the 64-bit version as well. .64-bit version working as well. Good. Right, cd cd Pascal. Let's just check the Pascal works, because I've said it works and it ought to blooming well work. Otherwise, we may be doing a lot more work. RISC OS project. Oh, where's the command? Not that one. That one. Pascal command. pfoo. RISC OS ammo. There we go. And then where's the build run command? Not 64-bit, 32-bit. Oh, because it's not called pfoo anymore. It's called pfoo. Pfoo. Hello there, Empathy Monster. Yes, I am doing a release of a build environment, so I'm just testing that parts of it work and checking how things are and whether we've got parts of it actually doing stuff. So the Pascal builds appear to be working. What else do we need? What else does RISC OS project do? Yeah, we should probably try building a module. Oh, C++ commands. Yeah, let's do a C++ command. C++, RISC OS project. Where's the command gone for that? Create a C++ command. CPP foo. There we go. And then build that. We've got to build that 64-bit. Oh, we'll check it with the 64-bit variant. That literally just passes build 64 to it. See if that works. Ugh, still very slow, but at least it's doing something. And it works. Good. So let's try and run it. Where's the build run command for the 64-bit? CPP foo. CPP foo. That's working as well. Let's just check that we've actually got CC main. Yeah, that is actually C++ code, so that's good. Right, so we've got that. What's next? So we had a module I wanted to build, didn't I? So let's build a module, CD module, project command, C module, modfoo, RISC OS ammo, build the 32-bit version, build the 64-bit version. Really need to sort out the build time on this, but not a big deal right now. Right, so we've got that, so we want to go and push those. So we do the send it to the build system, build service. So this is modfoo. This is the 64-bit version first. Oh, hang on, it's not in AF64, RM64, and we want to do RM load and then help modfoo. Oh, what did I do there? What's wrong with that? Oh, I've given it the wrong file name again. FFA, there we are. Send it to the build system. There we go, one module built. And we'll do the same for the 32-bit as well, just to check that we haven't broken the 32-bit side. Bum bum bum. Modfoo initialized, and there's the module. Thank you very much. All right. I should probably test Fortran as well, shouldn't I? So I'm up to Fortran. RISC OS project. Again, most of these are actually tested anyway, but this at least confirms they really are working. Actually, I don't think Fortran is tested. I think it's F command. Ffoo. 64 ammo. We don't have a 32-bit version of this. Yeah, just some patching didn't work. Not a big deal. And then build run. I want the command version, please. Yeah, there we go. Ffoo. Ffoo. Bum, bum, bum. Awesome. We have Fortran. Oh, except I put all the files in our wrong place. Let's just move them into the right place so I'm not messing myself up. F90 for makefile, version Fortran, version num, and put those, and O64, and put all of those files into Fortran. And that's what happens when you're rushing. You make mistakes. There we go. But it worked anyway, which is good. So we've tested Pascal, C, C++, Fortran. We've tested the help. We tested PRMs. We need to test out the Claude anyway. to be able to run the what's it called? I can't think what the thing is called. The release process. Oh, but I do need to check the documentation. So RISC OS help now has a guide, which is a HTML guide or a PDF. So we can go and do RISC OS help guide, and it'll open the HTML in a browser. Now, hopefully, this is gonna almost certainly pop it up in the wrong browser, but I'll copy it to the Chrome in a second. So hopefully, opening the file, it's put it in the wrong place, but copy, go over here, and then paste. So this is the guide. It is a very long document. It's got basically some introduction work in here, tells you about it and what it does. It's got sections here that talk about what you need to have in order to use it. So basically instructions on setting up Docker for different environments, which I hope is useful. I've been through them, but again, people will have to try these things out and see them themselves, because I haven't tested, for example, the Windows side. I've tested some of these, but people will have to try them out and see. It should work. But again, instructions are there should you wish to use them. There's a quick guide to doing your first session and trying to build something, which is very similar to what we just did, and documentation on how that works. And then we've got some workflow guides that show you how to use it, different parts of the system, what bits of it do, and things like that. There's a guide about how the optional parts of it work, so the 64-bit, Pyromaniac, and the AI agents. AI agents is in the main system, but you don't need to use it. So, for example, if you wanted to build some documentation, you'd be looking at the documentation authoring and manual building. This talks to you about PRM and XML, how to work with def files, which are the OSLib definitions, which are their own sort of documentation, and then how strong help works and how to use that. So a little bit of intro into those parts of the system. And some of these sections may move around. I may move them in the future, but they're relatively solid right now. Then we've got an actual tool reference that talks about each part of the system. So if you want to know about how the assembler works, you can go and look in the assembler tools. It'll tell you all the switches for that, the different tools for assembly use, so converting binaries to AOF files to C, OBJASM conversion. So you can have OBJASM files and you convert them to GNU assembler versions, and all the rest of that. So lots, and then this has changed a lot. There's a lot of documentation that's been updated here as we reviewed things and added new bits in. And then finally, there's an appendix section here that we've got that's got all the file formats and how other references to things. So basically there's the naming conventions on RISC OS, how file names are mapped between parts of the system, and then there's things like what the tokenized basic format is. So that's actually documented, and we have that there. There's also information on how to detokenize and to tokenize things with that. So this may be useful if you're having to want to build anything that processes basic files, and the same for a whole bunch of other things. We've also got things like the allocate request format, the actual file format of the allocate requests. We've got tooling that actually will produce allocate files now. So all of this is a lot of things, and don't expect everybody to be able to read it all. But is RISC OS Unix-like or a different sort of architecture? Different sort of architecture. It's more like your classic old school systems. It is not multi-threaded, multi-process. It provides you with a lot of direct access systems, unlike Unix environments. So yeah, there's a bunch of information on the RISC OS Open website if you wish to have a look at it. So hps://riscosopen.org gives a introduction to the RISC OS, what RISC OS is and everything. There's also some information about in the glossary here as well, so we've got more things about how some stuff fits together. Again, many sections that need to be padded out with more information as we go, because there's a lot. Also, there's indexes, so you've got an index of all the commands, so if you want to just have a look at one thing in particular, you can jump there and see what those commands do. So this appears to have built okay. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Yeah, I haven't checked the PDF file, so let us do the PDF. Discuss help PDF. Is it guide PDF? I think it's the actual text, isn't it? There. So this should open the PDF file, and it's put it over here. Thank you very much. Let me pull that onto the screen. Here we are. This is the PDF of the manual. And it has the same contents, but instead of being HTML, it's all in paginated PDF format. So actually, if you wanted, you can switch it to dual page, and you can actually see it as it would be appearing in a book. Or you can print it off if you really want to. There are 705 pages. It's a big beast. But you can also jump to each section you want. So if you want to have a look at documentation authoring, you just want to have a look at PRM and XML, that's there. I may move the def mod out of there. It seemed sensible at the time, but I'm not sure now. It's basically because it's documentation and code generation. It sort of fits there. I don't know. Right. Okay, so there we go. I saw some words that didn't look right there, but we'll just have to live with it because I'm not going to edit the manuals right now. It's good enough. And if anybody is familiar with it, all of this is they are PRM and XML documentation that has been turned into a full manual for the tools, which is pretty awesome. And of course, anything in here is actually clickable, so you can go, oh, I'll click on the RISC OS AMU, and it'll take me to the AMU documentation there. If you need to know about RISC OS project, I think that all these things go together to help you in what's being done. Anyway, the manual will almost certainly develop, but it looks good. I think we're looking like we've got a pretty reasonable document there. And the PDF, as you saw, worked as well. The HTML worked as well. So we're looking good. All right. So what was the next thing? Releases. So we built it. We checked the tools are working. We checked that they all did the right thing. The build service is working. Check the documentation builds and check that it reads well and doesn't contain garbage. Yeah, it's good enough. Now. Yeah, it's 40 minutes and we're nearly there. We're nearly finished. Well, maybe. Although we've just discovered that this make release thing does actually do the tag automatically at the end of it. So we don't need to tag do we need to tag the images? No, we don't need to tag the version. That already happens. So let's just edit release.md. Commit the changes, tag the version. Done by the script. Yes, exactly. Perfect is the enemy of good. We have to try and just get what we can done. There's other work that I've done that gets Rust into the build environment, but it's not ready yet, so it is really not good enough. So I haven't put that in yet. But what we have is good enough, and so that it's going in without that. So let's put those there. That's done by the script. Check the log's okay. Build the images and then tag the images. We need to do that. Publish and then announce. All right. So status. Sorry. Update the release documentation in preparation for the release. Right. Here we go. Nearly done. This is normally a 3-hour session that I do, but we may be finished in an hour and a half at this rate. Which would be nice, because it'd be like, that's the job done, nothing else to talk about. Let's push that as well. So it's preserved, always a good plan. And then run make release and see if this works, because I use this script last time. We're going to get the CI vars, we're going to do the last thing, last release is this. And then we're going to go and put it there. We send the message to Claude. Is that how you use Claude? I'm not sure. Let's just check. Because if it isn't, then I've got to go and fix it. What's the syntax? Prompt, yeah. So we can just, we just give it that. That's cool. Well, let's see if it works then, shall we? Make release. If it doesn't work, we'll just undo it and we'll do the release again. Okay, that feels like a lie. That feels like, yes, it said it errored out there. Why did it error out there? Bash -x. What went wrong? Got the vars. It's reading some input. It's waiting for us to press OK to do something. I don't really want it to. I want it to actually just get on with it. Oh no, it's read into $message this string. Why are we doing it that way? That's when it was multi-line, it was a bit easier to do that, wasn't it? All right, instead of that, let's just do message equals that. That's a bit easier, isn't it? Commit minus amend. Push minus, we won't push it, we'll just do the build. Right, make release. Go. Let's try again. This is Claude firing up and doing its thing. API error. Good start, mate. I should have done this headless, really, shouldn't I? This would be a better plan. No, it doesn't matter. If you want to do me another cup of tea, that would be lovely. Cup of tea on its way. That's nice. My wife is wonderful. She's just finished one of her big projects, or reached a milestone in one of her big projects. So
Not finished.
yeah, they're not finished. I know. It's a milestone. So she's in an exceptionally good mood as well, which is nice. Given the scale, I'll delegate analysis and drafting to an agent, and then review before finalizing. Okay. Just let it get on with it. It's easier than me trying to work out what's happened over time. So for a lot of my other projects, I actually have a change log that I actually update as with every change that I make. But I never put that into the RISC OS Build Environment, and so it's one of those things that's just easier to do this way. Your Claude is a bit slow. I mean, that's just how it's going at the moment. I'm assuming that it's partially because this machine is also streaming. Do I want to proceed? Yes, I do. Go on. There we go. It's usually a bit faster than this. I mean, it might also be the load on the system. I don't know. More likely, it's a good chunk of the what do you call it? The system being busy here before it even sends anything. Let's have a look what the agent's doing, shall we? There we go. Confirms the tools. Let me check a few more commands to be precise, okay? It's quite nice when it triggers a build from a sub-agent to do the work. It's nicer when it triggers like 8 different sub-agents and goes, they all go and run off and do a whole bunch of things. And you're going, I can see my tokens vanishing. A lot of the time when I'm doing things, I use Codex these days rather than Claude, partly because it's a bit of a hassle otherwise. I mean, even my work things, the most I've had on there is about 18 running at a time. There's no point in having, and then that's when, because they're working on different repositories, I largely just let it get on with things. And if I try and get it to do too much, it's never a good plan. It's bound to go and do something badly and waste time. So I don't do it that way. Again, people do things differently. It's taking a little while. I'm only on the $20 a month plan in any case, because it's expensive and I don't really want to be spending lots of money on things. But for things like this, it's useful. I also did run this last night just to make sure that it was going to be okay, and it was way faster than this. So thanks for that. It's always good to have it take its time. Whilst it's doing that, though, I'll show you. So this is the repository here that we've got. So this is my repository on my server. It's not visible to the outside world, and largely because a whole bunch of the things it's pulling you can't see from the outside world, so it wouldn't be useful. But it does have a lot of extra bits in here that are useful to me. So here's the website stuff. I'll show you the website in a little bit once this is built. There we go. It's written the log apparently, and it's now thinking again. I'm not sure the commits list is at all useful. We might kill that in the future, because a lot of it this time was basically build the documentation. I need to fix the ordering. That's helpful. Come on, what's that? Got a message. Yes, so Talia's also reminding me that I've got OBS running here and doing my streaming. So there's a lot of stuff running here to suck up all of the processing power. Not that a lot of it's done here. It does do a reasonable amount here, but sends it off to the right. So there we go. The general purpose one has now finished, so we can go back up to there and go back to our main one, and it knows now the agent is finished, and so it's now going to do a process on that. So what's it doing? Oh, I didn't update the version number. This is 0.3 still. Oh, that's irritating. I wanted to make it version 0.4. Meh, that's fine. We'll fix it up in post. How many Claude requests do you get for the $20? It depends. Yes. So you get, so essentially what you get is 5 hours worth of some amount, that after which you start getting blocked. And that after that 5 hours, you roll back to being 0% again, and so then you can do a whole bunch more requests. I don't know how many tokens that comes to because it's token based, but that's quite a few. And then over 7 days, you've got a limit as well, and I've used 18% of my 7-day limit. And there we go. It looks well structured. It's done. Blah 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 blah. And we can have a look at it in a minute. So if I just do my, is it usage? I think it's usage on here. You can see that I've used that 7%, and it will reset at 640, probably because I only just started using it, so I'm at the start of my 5-hour period. So every 5 hours, I get another whatever amount. So if I'm not, basically, if at the beginning of the 5-hour period you use up all of your usage, you can then do a bunch of other work, and then at the end of the next 5 hours you can go and do a bunch more, or you can spread it out over the period, and then until eventually you hit the 7-day, you've used up all of your usage. And because obviously I'm using this for when I'm not at work, because I have a real job as well, that rarely ever gets used. I mean, I can use it up if I'm on the higher models much more quickly. So I currently use Sonnet 5 now. I was using Sonnet 4.6. Was it 4.8? Or whichever version it was, the old Sonnet. But they just released a new one, which was actually quite good on the later powers. I have it set effort medium, so that I don't go through the tokens quickly. And it's only when it's doing a bad job that I put it onto either onto Opus. I have put it on Fable. I use Fable at work, or have been, because obviously it's been in and out. And so a lot of the time it doesn't matter. If you look here, you see that a lot of my work recently has been on reviewing documentation. So that's the main thing. I can also change this to show weeks as well, a week rather than just the day. So that's things recently. Thank you very much. Love you. So it does depend, but the $20 covers me for what I'm trying to do anyway. I don't have any worries on that. If I had more, potentially I would use it quite differently. But yeah. And my wife would never see me, she says. It is potentially true. However, I am also trying to make sure that I schedule things to be done rather than have to do them myself whilst I'm sitting here. As I say, if you're using Opus 4.8, that's right, yeah, on high, then you will burn through tokens a lot more quickly. And so I would check basically what the difference is, because I haven't found a lot of improvement on the simple work that I've been doing. I mean, a lot of the stuff that you do is really quite simple. It's not particularly difficult most of the time, and if you do find it difficult, you can always bump it up to be higher. Anyway, that's the that side of it. So we've now got a change log, and it's wrong because we've got a 0.3, which I don't want. I want 4. Is the quality of code better between different models? It's different. So you can get better structure. You can get better. I mean, if you can afford to use the Macs, then that's cool. But yeah, I can't. And I don't see a lot of the things about using AI is that you need to understand what's happening, and it needs to be understandable to others. So that's the real thing. Is the code better? It really depends on what you're trying to do. So if you have told it to do things in a structured way, it'll do it pretty well. If you don't give it a lot of advice and you get it to design things and put things together itself, it will change significantly. In particular, in the planning modes, it really does make a difference. So yeah, that's the things that matter. I mean, at work, I use Opus 4.8 most of the time, and I use it at high level, high or medium, depending on how I'm feeling. Yeah, high most of the time, because we've got an enterprise subscription there, and I rarely ever hit that, even with my quite excessive amount of use at times. I say excessive. There's other people in the team that do the full design process, so yeah. You need knowledge of what you're doing, and you need to know what you want to get out of it. Just saying do this thing can work really well if you're building a website. If you're doing something on RISC OS, you need to be providing a lot more information. And so that's why, for my use, I've been building a lot more skills and information about how things work and what to do and how to recover and stuff. So, right, so not only have we now added that change file with the wrong name, we've also gone and tagged it with the wrong name. Yeah, that's a bit of a pain, but let's sort that out, shall we? Actually, no, let's have a look at the file, because it does. We've generated this. We want to know what it actually contains. Come on, can you? We're hourglassing. There we are. Right, so I want 0.3.4. Is it 8? Oh, I don't know. Let's just go to the changes directory and see what we've got in there. Reveal inside bar. Oh, I need to refresh the files, that's why. There we are, 878. And we're going to need to update that number anyway. Right, so this is summary of the changes. New lib search command, ccres, dump sprites, allocate. Yeah, you can do allocations. Pascal to C is working properly. C++. Man's redirecting, which is nice. Prince is available, not supplied, but available. New manual. C++ support. It's not full C++ support. Partial. Because we don't have exceptions or RTTI. Fortran header generation and command line skeletons. Yep. Pascal to C compilation. Yep. Lots more AI skills. And some new tools as well. Yeah, lots of bits there. Lots of updates to the skills. You'll see a lot more skills turning up. Improve the skills. Yeah, a lot of improvements to the ones that already exist. And I've had to, yeah, I had to split up RISC OS output, I think it was, and possibly the writing PRM in XML because they were getting a little bit unwieldy. And that's all following the rules of progressive disclosure, so that you're not wasting tokens when you don't need to know stuff. So we've got a list explicit bit for the, so it's not full, it's partial. There. Fortran, yeah. Obsolete 64-bit Pascal work. Oh yes, sorry, there was a bad documentation, which has now been fixed. Although actually that was fixed only within this release, that doesn't need to be noted. Yeah, those were wrong in parts of the skills, so they've been fixed now. Yeah, looks good. Fix up template's been improved, and the WIMP reference is not too bad. Dialog box position. So we've got, because we've got ccres, we can convert to and from template files. So we've now got some reference material to know about how to create template files. Yeah. Bash completions for new and existing commands. Yeah, all completions are in there. Yeah, we can lose that. That's not relevant to the outside world. Yeah, that's fine. Right, okay, those will do, but we're going to want to change this to 0.3.878 once we become 0.4.879, because that's going to be the version that we're actually in now. And we're going to update the version number. So how do we do that? Let's just do that there. Yeah, and then we rename the file. Rename to that. Okay, and we'll get that as well. Oh, no, we didn't actually do the rename there. Are you renaming it, or are you just going to leave it alone? Let's do it by hand then. Oh, except it wasn't false. It was even a different name to that as well. Oh, not duplicate. No, rename. 9. Git status. Right. Add changes /4 and edit the project config, so increment the version number, and then update the release text so we actually do that. Update the version number in project.config. Increase minor digit as appropriate. create commit change update, build an updated change log, tag the version. Yeah, we need to retag it. Build the images, which is that command again. Oh, actually, not only that, we want to delete all of the temporary files. rm-f cross compile / work and RISC OS build. I think those are the ones we need to delete. Just check. Yeah, that's the ones we need to delete. Okay. CI/CI-vars. Let's see what version we're now on. So we are on 8.7.9. So if I commit this, it will be 8.80. Well, oh, I want to commit it into the same version, don't I? Amend there. There we go. Update changes 9. Updated. All right. Next thing was I need to tag it. So git tag. Let's tag delete. We have to fix up the bit we broke. This one here, and then we need to delete. Did we push it? I don't know. Let's make file, make release. We didn't push it, so that's good. Oh, we need to push the tag as well. That's a good point. So git I forgot what I was doing. Tag version, push the tag. Yeah, it's okay. Okay. Push -f git push v 0.4.879. Is that right? I've forgotten the tag number. Oh, because I haven't actually created one. Right, push -f git tag v. I've already forgotten. 0.4.879. Push origin v and not. Right. Build it. And to build it, I need to go out of the build environment and run the build command. Oh, just cat it, it'd be easier. Run the build. Oh, we also need to upload the website. I forgot about that one. Oh wait, no, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. Stop. What did I say? Delete the minus RF. Yes, we should do that. Right, that is now done. So now we can build this. Here we are. Right, this will again take a little while to do because we've obviously just deleted all of the contents that would be cached. So hopefully what we can do here is we can get all of this done and then we can tag it and we can push to Docker Hub whilst we're having a short break, and it will, fingers crossed, all be looking good for us, and we'll be able to come back from the release from there and be able to show that it works. That's the documentation building again. And that was the first stage done, so that's the not 64-bit built. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to be pushing it up to here, and we're going to want to update this text as well. Which means I probably need to sign in. Can I continue with Google? No, I don't have a Google login on this system. Continue with GitHub. I think I've got a GitHub login. Continue with passkey. Thank you. Touch ID. Okay. Did that work? It did. That's good. Authorize that. Hey, there we are. We got the editing interface. So here we go into RISC OS Build, and I should be able to edit the content. Settings. Ooh, settings has got a dot by it. Probably means it's been updated. Here we go. Here's a repository overview. So I think, yeah, that's where I edit it. What's new on settings there? What have they changed? New tag mutability. I thought that was already. No, I don't know. Maybe that's no REST thing I was thinking of. All tags are mutable. All tags are immutable. I think it's better to have them mutable for now, so that I can. Oh, actually, specific ones are immutable. Because really want not latest, which is a difficult thing to actually express as a regular expression. I'll leave that for now. Tags. Yeah, it's all fine there, isn't it? Right, it's still building. It's doing its layers now. But we're nearly there. We're nearly there. Boring. Not what else you can say on that. It's like, this is quite dull, yes. There we are. doing the tests. So I could just skip these tests, but it's really useful to find out whether the thing you are just about to release is actually working the way you expected. Because otherwise, you end up feeling a bit stupid. I mean, that's pretty obvious you'd end up stupid if it wasn't working, but... Nearly there. Come on, hurry up. I want to get this pushed up so we can actually like have things, see what's going on. Sorry, very boring. Just letting people chat. There we are. Right. It is built. So we shouldn't actually need to, so we just run Docker images. We shouldn't need to do anything else. To tag them, I think they're already tagged. Yeah, so if we look there, Gerph RISC OS Build and that one there, those two. Oh, they're actually smaller than I expected. I thought there was about 2 gigs for that. That's interesting. Oh, it's only when it gets the Rust experiment, it gets it into the 3 point something gigs. Oh, when I build in the WX widgets, it gets into the big areas. Yeah, okay, fair enough. So we can push that. So Docker push. Docker push. The 64-bit version. This should just work. Let's see if we can get it to work, shall we? And if it does, because it's going to take a while to push up, what is it, 1.4 gigabytes, we will take a break. Dum, 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 here we go. Oh, yeah, okay, you can do that. Lots of layers! Is this actually going to complete quickly, or there's actually oh no, this is actually done really quickly. Oh no, there's 300 megabytes there to upload those two. That's going to take a moment or two. Wonder why it's about the same. Makes me feel that I've done the wrong thing there. That might be a bug. Well, anyway, actually this looks like it's going to be finished really quickly and I don't need to take a break. That'd be cool. And whilst it's doing that, Andrew says, push, push, push. It's like a maternity ward. Whilst we're doing that, we can do make. Actually, I don't want that. I think it's just. Yeah, it's all files. What do I actually want to do? Make. Where's the upload? Ooh, do I not have a command to upload it? That's irritating. I thought I added something for that. Oh no, it's in website. It's in website here. Let's make file. Yeah, there we go. That's it. Make upload is what we want. And I shouldn't need to enter any passwords here because it should might be done. Just remember to breathe. Very important in maternity. That didn't work. No rule to make site index.html. Make build then. Oh dearie me. Did I delete the files that I wanted? I remember deleting them a couple of days ago and going, I don't need those files, they're already elsewhere. La 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 la. CD backup. I have no idea what the schema is for this. Select star from job where name like sent cross compile Docker sent. Ooh, loads of them. Awesome. Awesome. And that's the most recent one there. What was that column? How long does building usually take? Building the build environment, it's not a long time normally. There we go, that's pushed. So I can push the other one now. You saw it building just a few minutes ago. It's about 2-3 minutes. Order by ID desk limit 1. Okay, so those are the headers on, because this is how you you get things back from your backups. You go and search SQLite databases. That is the path that I want to be looking at. It only does a monthly, so presumably that monthly backup is going to be, it's not a weekly backup, so that should still have it. So if I do rclone ls /website/ You're being a little slow there, mate. Have I forgot the wrong switches? I don't. rclone. Let's have a look. rclone ls. Come on. See how I've used it in the past. ls directories, ls files. Recursive list if available. Use more memory at fewer transactions. LSF is designed to be human and machine readable. Okay. We'll do that then, LSF. Aha! No, 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 that's bad. That is bad. That means I haven't backed them up. Ah, bother. Well, okay, we just fix it then, don't we? Okay. This is why you don't randomly delete files thinking, oh, it's be fine. Why would you do that? Let's check that I did. So if I do cd webs, this one, git log site. No, it was never committed. Oh, let me just SSH there and see what. I feel very, very dumb now. Alright, so we've got an index, a cover, and a Gerph PNG. We need those 3 files down. We can do that. Hold on, RISC OS / robe / cover.png to here. Oh, sorry, rsync. Channel 4 documentary, when coding goes wrong. You see the tears coming. And backups didn't work either. What's going on? Oh. Did I design it on this machine or did I design it on the other machine? Phone wave. CD cross compile. RISC OS. Sorry, project. That's the one, yes. CD website. Oops, too many CDs. Those are the files to upload. Yeah, but that's not the. Oh, hang on. I wonder if this machine has backed it up. Where's my backup gone again? So, same directory, but on phone wave. No. No, it has not. Of course it hasn't. Cover gerph.png and index.html. And those need to go into the site directory. Of cover gerph index. That's just adding the links to the pages. Make build. I didn't move them. Oh yeah, that was because I did it wrong site. God, that make build. Oh, how How dumb do I feel? Yeah, and so there's substitutions here that are wrong in the manual. In fact, it's just the robe release dir and robe version just needs fixing in there. So actually, this might not be too bad. This might actually not be too bad. So what we can do is we can look in what was this called? I need to refresh the directories because they're not there. I'm cursing myself for not having backups, or at least the backup's not working, and cursing myself for deleting the files that I wanted to keep. I mean, that's pretty dumb. Really dumb. Really, really dumb. I'm looking for site/index. There, that file. Right, so everywhere where it says manual, no, we don't have any in there. So what's the release dir going to be? Download. Oh, ahref would be a good bet, wouldn't it? Manual slash. Oh, right, okay. So every instance of manual slash should become at robe release dir slash. Good. And then every instance of the version number, which was 0.3 point something. Oh yeah, that's a really good name, isn't it? Because that was the one that I was doing it with. Every one of those needs to become robe version, like that. Replace all. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Status. Git add site. Make build. It's marked it as dirty. I can just fix that up, can't I? I can just remove the dirty from it. That's okay. That one. Dirty. Oh no, in the upload. Just remove the dirty from it. There we go. Fix up the mess we made. Right, now we can check whether it's actually working. Upload slash. Right, let's have a new page with the manual in. Right, so this is the website and it's got a slash on the end of it. Why have I put a slash on the end of it? That's stupid. Go away, take that off. Is that because the original one has a slash on the end of it? Probably. Version. Yes, I accidentally left a slash on the end of it. All right, back over here. Read the manual online. It's got the top bar. We can go forward a chapter. We can go forward chapters. We can go to the operational sections. We can go to the reference. We can go to the contents. We can go to the top. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Oh, except I also want a V at the beginning of that. So V there. And then I want to just edit the other one. So it also puts a V there. Right. Right. I would like you to upload it, please. Yep, so upload. Make upload. Is that going to rebuild it first or not? It did. It rebuilt it with the dirty in it. Well, bother. What we'll do is we'll just remove the dirty and then repeat the command as it ran. So we should just be able to do that like that, and it will resync one file. Right, and after that panic, we have robe.riscos.online. Oh, I might have to go to, yeah, it's got the cached version still. Right, just give me a second to invalidate that. Can I do an invalidate from here? No, I can't. I'll need to go and log in. No, not that. Console address. Just give me a moment. Whoop. Here we are. This is me actually doing it as Charles. Come on, CloudFront. Thank you very much, CloudFront. There you are. And the one we want is Robe, which is that one. For most of the other sites, I've got this set up as a command that actually gets run on the end of the rsync, so it's a lot easier for me to just trigger, but I haven't done that here. Right, so that's triggered the invalidation, and if we reload the page, usually after just a few seconds, because it's not much else, we get the version number popping up. Whoa! Right, manual's now done, and because the manual's now done, we can go to here and we can edit it. So if we go to this, we can stick in here full full manual with installation and usage instructions can be found here. Update, and there we go. We've now got a manual linked to it. Wonderful. But we've only pushed those. We haven't yet updated the latest tags. So we need to go and tag things. So we need to go tag. You know, I never remember which way around this goes. Source image, target image. Source image should be tagged as latest. I'll do a Docker images now. So we look at this one here, it's ID D1C blah, and if we look at latest, oh, I've labeled it as latest. That was dumb. I'll delete that. It shouldn't be latest, it should be Gerph/RISC OS. Oh, but at least we know it worked. Latest, there we go. And then we can also do 64-bit and 64-bit. Oh, I've only pushed one of them, haven't I? I didn't push the other. So there we go. So we'll just do the push of the first one. So we want to do a push. Where's my push gone? So there, push that, make sure it's pushed. Already exists, good. And the 64-bit version already exists. And then latest 64-bit. And just latest. There we are. Right. Just want to edit the releases file to make sure we actually have the release documentation here. So, publish to Docker Hub. Well, that's actually quite easy because that is docker push gerph / RISC OS Build version, like that. Then 64-bit, and then tag Nitrix says, I like the book logo. I'm glad you like it. Oh, sorry, I didn't paste the link if anybody wants to have a look into it. Ooh, could probably do a fav icon as well. There you go, there's the site as gerph / RISC OS, dear, cannot spell, RISC OS Build latest 64-bit. Ooh, everything's gone very slow. What happened there? And tag that one as that. There we are. And then we push them. I could probably script that as well. Right. Tag the Docker. Oh, yeah. Tagging the Docker images as these bits. Yeah. And then push. And if you do 64-bit first, it'll make it faster because it will push to all the layers that already exist. Okay, and then announce it's convert the change. Ah! Very frustrating is that camera at times. It's nice, but it just suddenly goes, no, I'm not talking to you anymore, which is not very helpful. Anyway, yes, at least it's back now. And we're back over here. Convert the change to textile because okay, so let's do that. There you go, you can see me again. Not as good a quality as before, but at least I'm here. What else? Yeah, so that's the release done. So if I have a look at things now, we've got the site, we've got the release, commit as a website and add notes for release. That's not annoying in the slightest. But now fixed. The full release is now documented. Right, so there we go. We can push that. But what we do want to do is to turn that file into the changes file into a textile. So if I do pandoc, oh, I can't remember how you use it. I never remember how you use it. Is it just two file names or is it? O is the output file, and you just give it file. Okay, fair enough. Can we use Linux on RISC-V? RISC-V is a different type of system, and RISC-V does support Linux. It has various different variants. RISC OS, however, is what we're working on. That's slightly different, rather different. RISC-V does support Linux, and there are many people working on that. In fact, some people that used to be working on RISC OS are now working on RISC-V, so it's kind of interesting. Right. Yeah, I was just doing this conversion, wasn't I? So pandoc changes / 0.4 point that output file changes.text style. Is it going to know what to do about that? Yeah, pandoc's pretty awesome. That looks like it's text style output. Wow, it's actually done. I didn't know half of the syntax existed in textile. It may be complete garbage. We will see. Actually, maybe if I just tell it the file format is textile. I'm not convinced. Yeah, apparently that is. Okay, fine. So let's log in. RISC OS Open Forum 1. Oh, Forum 1 was the. Or is it because of that? No. Forums 1, obviously. Right. So what did it? When I did the last release, what did it look like? Build environment release, I did it like that, so let's just get so. And I put a little summary at the beginning. Yeah, that's all good. So if I need to log in. Yes, log in, please. Go away. Apparently that's not correct. Is that my password? It is not. Okay then. Whoop! Up you come. Thank you very much. And then I want to have a look at this one, please. Here we are, yeah. So I did this and then I just pasted the change list summary. So if we have a look at the edit here. See, that doesn't look like that one. It looks a bit different, unless that's just one of its oddities, I don't know. And I've used stars and double stars here. Not convinced. Anyway, we'll have a look at this. So pick up this text here, and then we will dump it into a document here. I've just released the latest RISC OS Build Environment on Docker Hub, which is there, yes. A lot of changes in there. Is it even worth my saying what there's lots of changes, because the change list is going to cover all of this? Don't know. Let's bump that to the side here. A lot of changes in there, mainly dealing with the AI skills. And I will need to post to the agents repository. We'll do that in a minute. The new skills are up on the agents repository as well, although depending on the build environment, blah blah blah. That's okay. Colon, we can do that. Also changes skills and like. New commands for C++, Pascal, allocations, template files. Yeah, that's probably about it for those. Many new skills or RISC OS features. And what am I doing? Somebody says, attention, this vehicle is reversing. That's somebody outside, obviously. So this is the release of my build environment. We're towards the very end of it now, and I'm just trying to get together the announcement that I'm going to do. Menu skills for RISC OS. So if you want information about it, the link I posted here is what we've just released. We've released the documentation and the Docker Hub details, which are here. That's the logged in version. Where do I get to the non-logged in version? Nope, I didn't mean to do that. Stop it. No, it's you, Gerph, isn't it? Is it the user? In fact, it's right here in my ooh, actually that's a good point. It should be that. Ah. Positive. Okay, that's good, yeah. That one there. Many new skills. More AI agent support and large manual documenting the environment. There, one of these, we don't need to say that, that's fine. And then we copy all of this text from changes text style. Let's just find changes text style, it'll be easier. Refresh folders, changes text style, all the content, copy, paste. And then get rid of this nasty change list. I don't think I'm going to remove the commits list. I don't think it's useful to people since you don't have access to the repo. Okay, so that's an announcement and a half, isn't it? If I switch this to textile mode, does it color it properly? It seems to understand it. All right, so don't post it to here. Oh, I need to know what the style is. That's the style of the post title. There, okay. So back to the forums. Here. New topic. What was it? 879? That's creepy. RISC OS Texas, you got the same vehicle reversing. Right, I've just released this. Oh, what I haven't mentioned, of course, is the new documentation. The large manual, oops, is also published at https://robe.riscos.online as HTML and PDF. I hope that this is enough to to help people to use their system. Bum, bum, bum. If they moan about the name again, then they can just take a running jump. The only person that moaned was Steve Revel, and he clearly forgot that we even had a meeting about it, so that is his issue. I did not wish to bring it up further on the forums, because if he has got memory problems or he has been stressed at things and has forgotten what's been discussed, then that is his issues, and I don't want to draw attention to them. But if he wants to moan, that's his issue. Right, there we go. Now, will this actually be supported by the textile that's on the forums? What do we think? Do we think it's going to fall apart and look like a complete pig's ear? Bum, bum, bum. It did not look like a complete pig's ear. It did, however, fail to work, so that's not ideal. Let's see if we can just edit that bit out. Was that the only one that failed that way? Yeah, it was. So let's just edit that to make it just a H1 dot instead. I think it's getting upset by the dots in the middle of the link. Yep, there we go. So we now have that released. Pretty cool, huh? All right, that's that done. And I don't need that file anymore because that's just the announcement. Don't save. I don't need that either. What was the next thing I wanted to do? Oh, yes, of course. I want to publish the skills into the agent skills directory. So let's go do that. Move this out of the way, and we'll go and do that. So if we go cd.dot/agents, it's in here, isn't it? Pull the latest version. There we are. Now, if I remember rightly, there's a way to update this. Using update version. That's right. Yeah, there's a lot of skills more than that there. Compare skills against that. That is what we want to do. Oh. Right. Compare contents. Yeah, we have. Oh, can I swap them? I want to have this on the left. Right, so we've got a lot of them. This is what's this is what we've currently got. Yeah, that one's now fixed in there. I'm sorry. I've changed the speeds because I was trying to get better interaction from people, but I'm not better interaction from people and getting captions. But it sounds like I can't do that, so that's why it had broken. But that's now fixed. So what we can see here is we've got lots of different changes here. This is what we used to have, and this is what is coming in. So there's a lot of them that have changed. So RISC OS output here. This one has. I wonder if it's best for me to just delete all of these and copy the new ones in. That might be the better plan, because when I did it last time wrongly, I ended up with a duplicate skill in there, which was rather dumb. So if we just have a look in there, -rf skills star, get rid of everything. Ta-da! Then go back to the comparisons, and for everything except the help files, copy over, and for all of these, copy over. Right, that's a lot. Close that, and then we do a git status here. We'll be able to see So those are the ones that have changed. And these are the new files. And there's a lot of them. You've got a couple deleted because they've been moved, content's been moved around. Okay, let's just see what the diffs are here, shall we? Yeah, so just some authorship. Yeah, some details on contents and the like. Yeah, that's because the output section has all been moved around. All the output's been changed. All right, there's a huge chunk here. Git add skills. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. You know what? Yeah, Claude. Not Claude, no. Let's go shell. Codex. I'll use codex this time since Claude was being slow. It should be good enough. Lots of changes have been made to this repository of agent skills. Please can you update the README to describe the new skills, to describe all the skills, as only some are in the list. There we go, see whether it can do that. I've hit my usage limit. Oh, well that's frustrating, isn't it? In which case, let's not do that. Let's use Claude then, fine. Oh, I left something running on the other machine that was doing my what was the thing that I was just trying to say? Lots of changes. Yeah. Copy text, paste text. That'll do. Not logged in. Log in, please. Yes, I've got a subscription. No, you haven't opened a browser because you're broken. Authorize. Yes, you can't see this. I've also got a code here that you can't see. Hopefully. Good. Just the tail end gets printed. I don't know why it gets printed, but it's probably just to give you a sort of understanding that you've done the right thing. Right. Do that again. It should be nice and quick and easy, I hope. Oh gosh, it's 3 o'clock. Yeah, that looks fine to me. In fact, it'd be probably nicer if we actually got a script that would do this automatically for us. But that can be a problem for another day. Because then I wouldn't have to run an AI agent to send things over to goodness knows where to be executed on crazy amounts of CPU processing. It really is quite an overkill. Go on, you can do it. auto mode. Let's spend more money on verifying that the things that the AI thing is doing are safe through the AI system. Clearly it's organized into categories for readability. Nice. I like that. I think that's quite sensible. Right, so let me have a look at it. So instead of doing a big list here, we've now got languages, modules and build system, subsystems, libraries, testing and CI, documentation. That's really nice. I like that. Okay, do I need to tag it as well? Update version. I believe this is a minor because although it's changed some things, is it a major? I haven't deleted anything. I'm going to call it minor. I don't mind. Update version, minor. There we go. Commit one as A. Oh, actually, what would be really good would be to get a update the agent skills for rogue release 0.4.879. All the skills from 0.4.879 are now in the repository. LS skills. 48 skills. I thought there was 49. Don't know. Well, fair enough. Push. And let's have a look. Well, let me select it, please. Copy, paste. There we go. It's now been updated with a crazy number of skills. Wonderful. How's that for cool? Right, that is the entire release process. Oh, yeah, that took a while, didn't it? And there was a rather large amount of, oh my god, I've deleted things. But it's working, which is quite cool. So I hope it was interesting. It was certainly a different process. I will probably end up talking about a lot more of what's actually gone on in the build environment in other videos anyway. But there are some interesting things. So I'll go through a quick sort of intro. I mean, you saw hopefully that we'd had the Pascal, Fortran, C++, 64-bit runs all working, and they are limited, but they do good jobs. And we also have a lot more information about RISC OS. So you saw that it mentioned, if we just have a look at the README. In fact, if we have a look at README on here, it'll probably be easier, won't it? Because we can see it. That's not the README directory. I want this here, don't I? To get the README. Here we are. So yeah, we've got a lot more improvements on the languages. We've got now some stuff for Perl working with RISC OS. We've got a Fortran rule as well. Some stuff for C++ and the Pascal skills as well. So all of those are in there. We've also got some improvements to the Pi modules, which won't bother anybody else, but they're there. The RISC OS section has got a large number of updates. So the output was split up and more information added for some different operations. We've now got some WIMP code that understands about how the window manager works and the general workflow. There's some structure here for the small desktop applications. This is a a pattern that I'm building up that knows how to build WIMP applications, just to sort of try and get something that's useful. There's a documentation here on how templates work and how to do template operations so that the agent understands how to work with templates, because it can't easily edit binary files, but we can convert the content with CCRes, and that makes it into text, which we can then edit, and then we can push it back into the system. That's thanks to obviously the CCRes authors, but also Phil Pemberton, who ported this to be something that was actually portable, because I tried to port it ages ago and couldn't get the blooming thing to work on Linux. There's documentation about how filer-like windows work, based on not the filer, but on my own filer-like library, and on how OmniClient works, to sort of to get a grid-like environment and how that works. So that's kind of working. How you drive filer action operations is now documented, and there's a skill for that. How converters have been used has been massively improved on what was there before. Network Resolver, I think, and DCI stats weren't there before, but now that we've got more information on how to work with those, so if you're writing a DCI driver, you can, or any other network driver, you can provide that. URL fetching using the URL fetcher module, which is the way you should be doing everything, is now pretty much working, and this is actually quite a useful pattern. This skill can do stuff. URI launching through URI dispatch and the SWISE, that's pretty good, and it understands the ANT protocol as well. Throwback manipulation is kind of working, but again, you rarely would need this. It's just more this is how you do stuff. And then there's an understanding of the style guide and how to apply fix-up template. The fix-up template command, it basically looks at the templates and decides, okay, these things are too close together. This is the wrong colors. This is your window's the wrong size. You should be lining these things up better. It's not perfect, but it gives you some input to that. And then there's the reverse engineering, which has had a little bit of extra love on that. There's new library handling in here. So libasm has been properly documented. oslib has been added there. RISC OS lib is in there as well. And there's a little bit of detail for toolbox as well, so that people can understand, so the agents can understand how to use the toolbox. There's been an extra amount of work on the CI testing, so that if you need to integrate your produce things into testing, you'll be able to do that wrong. I've never had any problem with the AI getting BGR around the wrong way since I've used the skills that I've used. So that was RISC OS Tech was saying that. Never really had any hassles with that, to be honest. It used to have issues, but that was mostly on the paletted output when using the system calls, because it was going, oh, I've used the wrong ones. Also, just telling it to look at the screen and get a screenshot has solved that. Whenever it spots there's a problem, it goes, fine, I'll fix that. Didn't realize it was back to front. I should have paid attention to the skill. So I've not seen that issue, but yeah, used to. Yeah, CI testing there was that. If you're working with GH and the GitHub repositories, that's new, I believe, and that is pretty functional. So I've used that largely so that I can tell it to create pull requests for me and make releases, but also so that it can monitor the running of jobs. So if it's you tell it to push and then you say and monitor it, it can then go and check what the results were on the CI job. I've got another GitLab one to come in as well for pushing to GitLab, but it's gonna be the next release, I expect it'll be for that, because it's something I'm working on independently. There's a particular one here for how to use Git, so how they can be done safely and not to do things stupidly, and to provide useful information in your commits, because obviously I have a view, that committing code with just a fixed things or added X feature is not sufficient. Stop it. You need to be descriptive, because otherwise if you're doing archaeology on what went wrong at a certain time, it's really important to get good information there. Although you've seen that my quick messages don't always follow that. And the same goes for pull requests, so that somebody can review things. It's important to have good information. I believe the using strong help is a new skill as well, which has been added and now has the ability to both read strong help files and extract documentation from there, and to construct them as well. I've not tried the construction in Anger, but it seemed to be kind of working. But definitely the extract information. So if you've got like, this is a library, here's the strong help documentation, and obviously you're not using RISC OS, so you don't have strong help, that can do the extraction. It basically calls RISC OS sh extract to extract the content, and then understands what the format is. So all of these skills, big deal. They really do help give us a lot more information. But also there's help in the environment as well. So not only have we got information about Objasm in 64-bit and how that works, but also we've got the finding libraries, which was introduced last time and has been extended, which goes, well, I want to be able to, so RISC OS lib search, I want to know where the I don't know, SHA-1 library is, and it'll tell you, yes, there's some stuff in the SHA-1 that's not helpful to you. This is, however, and so this is where you'd find the library and the functions that are available to you. So it can quickly help you find information. It also is useful if you know, oh, I want a mode variable. Which header do I include to get a mode variable? The answer is RISC OS mode variables, and it's got these values here. Dead easy. A lot more useful if you're coding, and also this is used by the AI systems, so they can pull in information rather than having to go and search for it. They can just run a command and the information's right there for them. Makes the number of exchanges and token uses a lot lower. That's the intent anyway. There's other bits in here, so we've expanded some of the how to start. How to 64-bit is improved a bit as well. There's the strong help section that deals with more strong help information, and the variables here tells you more about the system variables. C++ and Fortran have also been created here to document those languages, and the Pascal. The limitations have not been updated. RISC OS Tech, Martin, you're using it without the build environment behind it. Again, your mileage may vary. Good luck. But it is intended to be used with the build environment behind it. So see how you get on. Oh, and the Fortran and C one there is an important one that talks about how you interwork Fortran code with the C code. There wants to be a Pascal and C as well. We'll add that in later. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all of them. There are new features as well. So RISC OS allocate. RISC OS help commands, I think, is the thing. So if you RISC OS help commands here, it'll give you a list of all the commands that are available, and some of these are new. So like allocate in here, you can't find it there. RISC OS allocate is a tool that will create allocations files, and it's documented in the manual how you can use it. You can extract data from it. You can create new allocations. At some point we'll have an interactive thing that can do that, but you can do it through an agent anyway. The allocating resources skill knows about it and can use it, or it can just paste the raw text of what you want allocating to the system. Yeah, there's also things like dump sprites, which I think I may have mentioned before, but that produces lists of it is installed. Yeah, as I say, it might be installed, but it's intended to be used inside the environment, not from the outside. So I don't know how well that will work. It's up to you how you handle that. And fix up templates has also been fixed because it was completely broken previously. I don't think there's much else in here. There are other things that have been updated, but you'll just have to try and see them. They're in the change logs. All right, that is the entire release process. Good luck with using it. I hope it all works out for you. RISC OS Tech is one of the largest user of the skills, certainly. It is quite a process, although I know that Rob's also using it as well. Any questions from anyone before I go and sign off? I think we're pretty good on this. I think we've it's been a longer session than I intended due to nastiness and fixing stuff, but all right, no questions. I realize we have got a delay on this, so I am waiting a little bit longer. Don't want to cause confusion. Does it work on ARM64? No. The build environment it will work if you've got the emulation system running, but I don't use ARM64 for my systems, and all the tools are built that way. So you just have to work that way. Oh, right. Thank you very much. Rob sent me some bits to go and test. That'll be fun to have a go at. Right. Anybody finding any problems with the manual, the documentation manual and the like, please do drop me a line. Mention it, because that's how we'll get it improved. The manual is obviously a work in progress, but it's huge, and I have skimmed read it. A lot of it's been generated by AI from the stuff that I've originally written and expanded out based on the documentation for individual tools. So there's probably going to be issues with it, but I have skimmed it and checked certain areas, and it seems good. So yeah, hopefully it'll answer people's questions. If there are issues and things that it doesn't answer, drop me a line, we'll have a go. All right. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the session. I know it's been a bit different. Next week we'll be back to more traditional coding, I think, and things will be a little bit more sane, I hope. Well, I hope so anyway. As usual, thank you very much for any donations that people have made on the GitHub sponsorship. I really appreciate it. Anybody who wishes to do so, I am always happy to take donations. The RISC OS 64 work here is one of the examples of the areas that we're updating. Oh, and I will quickly just jump into this. So the RISC OS 64 status repository now has much more information. So we've also got owners on this list, which says who has claimed responsibility for porting particular things, and any source code that has been pushed so that people can use that. Hopefully this will encourage people to get involved and try and take on certain areas. So I've got Piers' things as mentioned in here. I've got Martin's got his things listed here and links to stuff. So there is stuff in here that people are doing. Again, cooperation and people trying to work together on this is what matters, like Rob posting things. And as I say, next week we will hopefully do some more interesting things. We'll see. All right. before I start whittering again, let me finish up and wish you a good afternoon, and I'll speak to you all later when we've hopefully got more interesting things to do. Bye! Where do I press? What do I do now? It's been too long since I've done this. Oh, we do the intro titles, don't we? See ya!